Hello, everybody. It is great to be here one more time. My name is Gary Fowler. I've been a serial entrepreneur and investor. I've been involved in 17 startups and 2 unicorns. I was on the original management team of Click Software, which was sold to Salesforce for $1.35 billion, and Yva.ai. Yes, Yva.ai, an AI HR tech company that I co-founded with Dr. David Yang. We believe that intellectual capacity is evenly spread, but opportunities are not. And that is why I formed GSD, Get You Done Venture Studios. So with that, I'd like to bring my incredible guest. I think I should be playing some superwoman music. Dun, 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 dun. She's the crypto superwoman, entrepreneur, space lady. I mean, she's got more names and endeavors than anybody I've ever seen. And she's a very good friend of mine. So with that, I'd like to introduce my friend, Irina Litchfield. Hi, Irina.
Hi, Gary. It's so good to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you. So where are you today? Are you in Austin?
I'm in Austin, Texas. Yeah.
So what's
in my little booth?
You got your farm. What's going on with the farm? Are you doing your eggs? I saw you had like a basket of eggs.
Yeah. Yes, I do. It's spring is now back to Texas. It's nice and warm, so we'll be planting some things, and I'm preparing for the Freedom Fest, and then I'm probably going to move Ara to November. My hands are really busy at this point.
You're doing the Freedom Fest?
Yes, and I'm not organizing. I'm providing the space.
What is it?
Yes, Freedom Fest is organized as a collaboration of Anarchapulco event, which is event for freedom, kind of a freedom and what is it called, like a volunteerism people, and then also the Flote social media platform that is based on a blockchain technology. So they're really great believers into freedom and your rights, and also within responsibilities to each other's rights as well. So that will be happening in the end of April. And
Wow.
It's interesting. I've been at so many events before, and I was really impressed with how they hosting them last year. Just the whole volunteerism that's when I learned a lot about it. It was really interesting. I'm really looking forward to them coming back.
No, that's super. So what's going on, Irina? What's happening with the crypto market? It's 60 some, it's 43, it's down, it's up. Ethereum's 4,000x. It's down. What's going on with the market? Why are the fluctuations so great?
Yes, well, it's highly emotional, right? So basically, the way it works is that, as we know, in all the markets, people make emotional decisions, but it's also highly misunderstood or not understood. And so that creates more emotions usually. So I think that's where the volatility really is through kind of a combination by nature to those two. And also, kind of, to me, I look at only macro trends. I just kind of I don't look at Bitcoin price at all. I hear people say it, but I don't look it up. Maybe there's like 5 times a year when I Google what's the Bitcoin price. But by default, it just kind of comes into my world. I'm not paying attention to it, only for the reasons because I care about infrastructure and adoption for the infrastructure, and then also kind of seeing the solutions it proposes. I'm not a crypto billionaire. I've built things in technology. I spent dollars to build Bitcoin exchange. I didn't stack the Bitcoins, and like the rest of the people, I also lost Bitcoin, or I had to sell it during winter time.
Did you lose where you lost it on a computer? Did you lose it?
Yeah, we just have all kinds of like weird stories.
Seriously,
everybody does. But I kind of what drew my attention to Bitcoin in the beginning is its design to provide the right to transact to people, and the right to be able to have and hold your own money without kind of intermediary deciding, right, whether one, I can send it, and two, how much it will cost, and then three, in the end of the day, completely decide to take away my right. I come from a distressed area in the world, obviously, and I lived through economic crash. So I know what it's like to see, all countries' savings for all people melt in a matter of one day and continue degrading.
I've been there, Irina. I've been there. I was in one of those distressed countries myself when the market took a big time dive, and I'd never seen anything like it, because you're so used to being in the States and having some stable economy. But I remember literally one day it started. And of course, being from the States, you don't ever think about it because that never happens. But all of a sudden it started going down and down and down. And people would go into the stores and they would buy TVs. I'd never seen anything like it. They'd be large screen TVs because they were at the old pricing, not at the current pricing. And they would stack them up. There'd be 5 in one of these like pallet holders. And then I went down, I bought a Omega watch because I figured it was at the old rate and I didn't want to, I didn't want to lose my money. It was crazy. You were doing really bizarre things to buy something you could hold on to in your hands.
Try to hold the value, and then after that, your trading happens, right? Like I have a TV, you have a tractor. Come and mow my my field, and I'll give you the TV.
Well, actually, I put my Omega on. And I didn't take it off. I kind of liked it. What happened is that was one of the things I did. But you're right about it, because you start bartering. Once you have those goods, you start to barter with them. The problem is you have to make sure it's going to hold its value and not something lose. So you've gone down through it. Where are we with this stuff, Irina? We've got crypto, we've got NFTs, we got the metaverse. There's something coming in inside where we're going to be doing. We're going to be trading. We're going to create properties. Where are we going to be? I mean, where do you see in a year from now? How's it going to be? Are we going to be in this crypto world where everything's tokenized and it's metaverse, and you and I are just going to be I had somebody I had a meeting with. Honestly, the entire time he had an avatar on, and it was a bizarre avatar. It looked like an old TV show. It's called The Jetsons. Except he was the one, he had a space looking hat on and what do they call those? Cape in the back. I mean, it was the weirdest thing. I don't know what the guy looked like. I honestly I don't know what he really looks like. But is that the world we're coming to?
Well, usually our hype, meaning the interest of the world on the technology, arrives much faster than the actual application of that technology. And the way I see it in the world is that usually that hype dies out, but then technology continues developing. And then, eventually it comes up and people become very surprised that it actually happens. But I think that's exactly where we are right now. I don't see a lot of technical applications for the dreams that are people having at this moment. Not to say that that's not going to be portion of some people's reality, because I think some people will choose to have avatars and maybe even will choose participate in a virtual reality in a way to where even they go to work in a virtual reality, right? And they do see more value in virtual goods than in physical goods in this reality. When that's going to happen, not next year.
Doesn't it sound bizarre, though? They'll see they'll see physical goods, and then they'll see these other goods in the virtual reality. Then they'll start to see the value in the virtual reality. But where are we then? Where are we?
And that's not going to happen next year. No way.
No.
We don't have infrastructure laid out for it. The technically is not there. It's not so fun to be bopping around with half of your body in a VR. It's fine to plug in and play Star Wars, looking at the, I am your father.
Yeah. Well, you're really good at that. You've been practicing with your daughter, I think.
Gary, I played the Star Wars game in VR, and it's amazing. It's so fun, but when he's standing there, the scary guy, whatever, and
Darth Vader.
Yeah, and he's tall and he's breathing at you, and it's like all here. Like my experience, it's amazing because I really truly did experience these feelings, like terrified, okay, but being like you're not messing with me, man. Like I can stand up on my own, and all these different emotions, and then like fighting and all of that.
And you were fighting him?
Yeah, you do.
Which game is that?
It's called Star Wars. It's a
And,
very short
and where
one.
is it? Where is the game? Where did
It's
you?
like a VR, the Oculus.
Huh? I've
Yeah,
never. One time I got on one of those games and I started to play it. It was one where you're going up to a cliff,
yeah,
and it
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah. So
sounded
you go there through. But the beauty of that game is that it's only about like, I think it's maximum 15 minutes. That's all. So you go in through the experience, you buy the clip, you go through that. And then if you want to continue, you buy the next cliff. So it's just enough for you to be
I want
immersed
to
into
buy the
it,
next clip.
but not to be so overwhelmed and tired,
Mhm.
because remember too, people are complaining about the headaches, the pressure, the whole, like you have this big thing in front of you, and then, all of a sudden your arm starts like floating. Wait, where is it? Like this, for some reason, and it starts twisting.
Really?
Yeah, it's we have so much more improvement, and that's amazing. It's not a bad thing, we've come so
How long
far.
ago did you play that, Irina?
I played it, well, I bought Oculus, when COVID happened, because obviously you buy Oculus, start to, we went to full shutdown, Gary, like, meaning, I mean, we went outside to our ranch, we walked around and stuff, or whatever, our homestead, but, we did not have contact. We isolated the contact completely as soon as it all happened. And actually, we started isolating faster because I travel a lot. I had COVID in January. So I had it before people even knew what it was here.
Wow.
Right. And it almost killed me. It was horrible. But, it's
Well, I'm
fine.
glad you're okay.
Yeah, me too. We are humans, do have a tendency to do get sick, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger is the truth. So whatever.
You feel okay now, Irina?
Yeah, I feel great.
Wow.
What do you think, Gary?
Oh, you look great. Yeah, you look great. Here, let me take a picture.
Thank you. So anyway, I think that when I think about technology, Gary, right now, I think that we have these ambitions and ideas, and we're spending a lot of time on that, and that's great, and I appreciate it. But next year we're not going to see all of what's happening. I do know that from my hypothesis, from how I analyze the crypto industry, next year is going to be the bear market, and bear markets are hard, so there's going to be a lot of wipeouts. We're going to see reconciliations for the NFTs. What that means is that we're going to learn more about what works, what doesn't, what NFTs are, what people thought. And I mean, my hypothesis is that what we call NFT now, let's say for the art application, is going to have a different name. It's just like we do not use ICO anymore. I believe we're not going to use NFT. I might be wrong. We'll see. We'll talk about it next year.
Why is it going to be a bear market? What do you think, Irina?
What?
Why is it going to be a bear market next year?
Well, the world works in cycles, and we had a growth cycle. So reconciliations, that's how it works. You can't have a forever expansion. It just does not work that way.
No, I agree with you.
It's the rule of the universe, right? That's kind of how it works. Things born, and they die, and then except bear market doesn't die, but it does.
Yeah,
it does flush things out.
Yeah, no, it levels it up, and when it levels it up, you better be ready for it, right?
Yeah, and so that's where it is. And then of course there's a Bitcoin, and so what I appreciate now about Bitcoin, and it finally validates its use case for its design, because before it was working. It was more though hypothetical, and especially on the scale of a countries. And
Yeah.
that's what really is interesting to me, because I think that in the end of the day, we see a lot of attention going to the hypes of the, all this coolness and everything. And to me, what I'm seeing is application and fulfillment of original design. And that is very exciting to me, because that means that you can design technology to create solutions in the future. That's sexy, very sexy to me, and I think because of that, we are going to see bull run for Bitcoin, because it demonstrates to people why Bitcoin, why not other cryptocurrencies and tokens and the projects. And those projects exist and they're great and it's wonderful, but it really demonstrates to people why Bitcoin specifically.
No, I agree with you. So you're into space. What's going on? I
Yeah.
got to hear the space stuff. What's happening?
Let's talk about that. I was going to say, let's move on to space. So, and to me, after a demonstration on a global scale, right, of the kind of the states of different countries in hypersonic capabilities and other advancements in technology, like, for example, China going and grabbing the satellite and towing it away. There's a lot of demonstration of technical capabilities that we've been seeing all across the world, not just America, but China and Russia and India and your Arab Emirates. Anyways, I apologize.
I'm trying to get that for you.
I call them Arab Emirates in my mind, So, but and then other countries also. I mean, all kinds of countries are looking at the space programs now and are starting to compete with each other in technologies. So that really pivoted my attention in November. And so I've been really highly focusing on space industry specifically and going deeper into solutions for that. And even if I'm working on the, crypto, it's all application for space.
Oh, that's great. So what's hot right now?
Yeah. Well, I think that number one, the hottest thing that you can think about is basically, I would say that development of hypersonic and hyperspeeds testing facilities. That's what we need in order to compete. And that is our biggest bottleneck when it comes to development of hypersonics. So that's kind of like one, and I'm looking at it as an opportunity, but also as kind of like a challenge to the world, to where, we need to be able to develop the testing facilities to do the technology testing. So that's one, that's hot. Another hot thing that I think is very important is point-to-point spaceports. Because
point-to-point
spaceports.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the moon, or are you talking about like on the moon and
on our planet? So what that means is that so far all of our spaceports are built and developed for going to space and now coming back. So kind of a going back entry.
Got it.
We do not have a capability for traveling from one spaceport to going to another spaceport. So the reason this is important is because it allows you to have proper transfer, proper infrastructure within a space. But also what's exciting to me is that it allows you to advance the transportation. Because right now, we travel too slow. We can travel much faster. So we can cut your time safely in traveling for about.
Irina, that's what I said the other day when I was driving down the street down here. My wife said, "Are you coming home for dinner?" I said, "Yeah," and I stepped on. I got a ticket.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And so think about it. So we don't have the point-to-point capabilities.
No, I understand that.
And the reason it's important too is because if we have ability to travel point to point, we can then send cargo much faster to ourselves within our geography, as well as our allies, and then also eventually transport people. But remember, first we need the hypersonic testing facilities because we need to be able to test it properly. And then another third thing is that that brings it all together. That's really exciting to me is that we finally have 2 spaceports, private spaceports, that we're expecting to get first corridor open for commercial testing of hypersonics and high speeds.
Do we have any hypersonics now, Irina, in the U.S.?
Well, we do. Hypersonics is something we've been working on for a while. And I think what's interesting too is that when I look, so it's a controversial topic, right? Because at this point, United States doesn't have one-to-one competition with other countries for when it comes to hypersonic missiles, but US is developing technology that will allow us to compete, but also advance. So we're not using old tech from, olden times and just improving it. We're working on much kind of advanced technology that will allow us to push the envelope further. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
And so for that, you need those testing facilities. Right now we have one.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, if you're a commercial company and you want to test your hypersonics, the wait is 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is that it's one money.
Like a lot of money if you got a 5-year wait. It's like a good restaurant.
Yes. So if you have ability to be able to build infrastructure and invest in infrastructure, your hypersonic testing facility right now is something that is very delicious.
Well, it sounds like this is something you want to get. It sounds fantastic.
Yes.
Listen, we're coming up to the top of the hour.
Yeah.
So how do people get a hold of you in closing thoughts?
Yes, in closing thoughts, just Google me, Irina Litchfield, and message me on LinkedIn. I receive messages. If you have something serious you want to talk about, feel free to email me. It's irinalich@me.com. It's IRINALITCH@me.com. Please know if you're just gonna send me send me a precise, dedicated email, because you get one. If you miss on that one, I'm gonna delete and never respond. And I do check all my emails, though sometimes late.
At least you're honest.
Yeah. So but other than that, I'm pretty focused on my messaging and alignment with what I work and communicating that to the world. So if you follow me on Twitter, Irina Litchfield, you'll be able to have a good way of understanding where my head is and how I'm viewing the world. And again, if you want to get in, connect with me, you can message me from there too.
No, that's great. Irina, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. I really appreciate it. And thanks to all my audience for joining one more episode of GSD Presents Silicon Valley AI and Tech. And I'm your host, Gary Fowler. Stay happy, stay safe.
So sorry. I apologize for interrupting you, Gary.
No, go ahead.
It's just something that I really wanted to make sure to mention. And what I wanted to make sure to mention, and don't even follow me, don't even contact me. If there's one thing that I want you to check out is spacepac.us. It's spacepac.us. The reason I'm saying that is because that's a way you can take an actionable step in making sure that America and American companies continue advancing our freedom. Because and I'm sorry to finish it this way, Gary, because I just have to. We are right now in full-on space war. It's no longer the race for exploring the freedom and exploring the opportunities. We are competing with other companies for space, and it is a hostile environment. And American government is betting on American entrepreneurs to build democratic availabilities in the space. That's why we're supporting other companies going to space. That's why we're competing on a lunar mission with other centralized entities, with enemies. And so the best thing we can do is learn about space, go start a space company. But also we need to remember that it is a united work of government and free enterprise. And we must support our government in understanding technology better and understanding space better. And so Space PAC is created specifically for that, for the education and support of our government. Might that be councils, might that be governance, whoever it is in a government, because this is important. And you have ability right now to make difference to defend our country.
No, that's great. Well, as Buzz Lightyear used to say, up and away, right? We
Up.
get out there to infinity and beyond.
Yep.
I mean, well, we got to get out there. America's got a great amount of talent, and we need to keep going just like we've done before. We've come up to the missions, and we've accomplished this for us. It's up to each one of you to be able to get that done. Again, my name's Gary Fowler. Thanks, Irina, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye, everybody. Take care. I'll be back
guys,
for another exciting edition. Bye-bye.